but I look good doing it.
Oh, hello. You caught us in the middle of our training for our secret mission.
Step 2, basketball. This is David.
And this is Kalen.
And we're IAs.
And we're here to train you how to infiltrate the KGB.
David!
And we're here to train you how to lead a section well.
Right. Now, Porter is known for its art and diversity. The urban college, if you will.
And CORE is the foundation from which all Porter students begin their college experience.
And we as IAs are here to help facilitate this.
Now, you may or may not know this, but the IAs are technically not even mentioned in the course description.
We're the low-paid, well-kept secret of the CORE institution.
The vital non-entities of the course.
Now, the worthy among you already see the link between the IA and spycraft.
And basketball.
True, David. Now, I can hear you in the back. What exactly does the IA do? You're begging to know.
That's where we come in.
Now, we've both done this for 2 years, so we've got 4 years of experience between us.
And Moxie. We got Moxie.
And sex appeal, but let's not belabor the point.
Impossible.
Anyway, we want to share our experience with you.
Thanks, Kalen. We're going to cover the two most basic and essential elements of the IA role, leading a section well and conducting one-on-one writing conferences. Take it, Kalen.
Thank you, David. So you walk into your first section, and fine, yes, you know how to write, and you've got a personality that would charm James Bond. Still, though, what do you do? For that matter, what do you do for the rest of the quarter? You got 2 hour and 10-minute sections per week for the next 10 weeks, and you're going to need more than dimples and magnetism to get yourself through it. Don't be afraid to strategize a little bit. It's okay to plan out your quarter beforehand. Faced with a challenge like this, many IAs inevitably surrender to the reading or to the text. They conduct kind of a weekly content checkup, making sure everybody's done their homework. While sometimes necessary, I guess, I'm suggesting you do that only occasionally, and never for the entire length of section. What nobody tells you about Porter Core is that it's basically a writing skills class disguised as an issues course. Students are forced to take it because it gets them better acclimated to college writing and they become better analytical thinkers in general. You're here because you're good at that, not because you're passionately invested in a predetermined set of social issues. Students don't necessarily need to see you as a professor or even as a member of the Porter Core staff. I've found to be much more responsive and interested if you tell them right away that you're a student, a little older and more experienced than they are, who knows a thing or two about college writing and analysis. Still though, what do? I advise you use your section time to communicate these analytical and writing skills. It's much easier to get excited about those things than it is to get excited about the course text. Students can smell bullshit like nobody's business, and they'll know if you're faking enthusiasm for the course material. Better then to stick to what you know you're enthusiastic about. Writing and analysis. Do an entire section on thesis statements. What is their purpose? How are they developed and constructed? What essential elements are necessary to a good thesis sentence? Or do one on essay structure. How the paragraphs inform and interact with one another. How you relate each body paragraph back to the thesis sentence, etc. Okay, sounds boring, right? Well, it's your job to make it interesting. Keep in mind and always let the students know you're a student too, with all kinds of outside interests. You're also an example, a person who certainly doesn't invest their entire lives in the core course, yet who still appreciates and practices the skills you're telling them about. By proving those two things, that you have outside interests and that you're teaching practical skills which you can apply to those interests, they'll begin to see written analysis as not just academic. I'll give an example. This is my living room, and I do a lot of music listening in here. Usually we've got something on in the background. But whether a music lover or not, you've no doubt heard the Rolling Stones sing Satisfaction. Depending on how cool you are, you may also be familiar with Devo's cover version. I brought both of these songs into class one day that they were discussing thesis statements, and asked the students how the Devo version altered the original, and what they were hoping to accomplish with that. This, I explained, was an argument. All we had to do then is figure out how to turn an argument into a thesis statement. So ask yourself, what are you passionate about? Music, photography, dance, movies, painting? How do the visible brushstrokes in a Van Gogh contribute to the overall mood of the painting? How do we read the thing? Top to bottom, left to right? And what does the artist hope to communicate by manipulating our reading this way? Whatever you're interested in, you're certain to be passionate when talking about it. More passionate than you would be about the course material anyway. Students can sense this, and they're far more likely to listen to you if you seem genuinely interested and invested in what you're talking about. By taking the students outside of the course in order to discuss analysis, you make it seem vastly more interesting and valuable. The second half of this lesson, of course, is teaching them to relate these skills to the course work. I've often told students to think of the course material as exercise books, works which allow them to test out and develop their analytical writing. If you do a section on thesis statements one week, use the next week to discuss thesis statements as they apply to whatever book you're reading. Explain that as a skill, it's exactly the same as when you listen to Devo. The whale in Moby Dick represents something. Ask them to find an argument there and to develop a thesis statement based on the skills you've already introduced. Suddenly, this doesn't seem like such a stale slice of academic gymnastics. It's practical and kind of fun.
Hey, hey, hey.